Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. Well, it's half and half a beautiful day and half cloudy. It keeps going back and forth, but either way it was a great day to go out and collect some goodies to put in a salad I'm making for myself today. And I thought I would show you what my salad looks like at this time of the year. Alright, so keep in mind we are on the peninsula of Washington State, so we're very northern, and we're also in the wettest part of Washington because, first of all, not all of Washington State is wet like some people who don't live in this area assume. Washington's kind of given painted this, picture that it's all rainy. Well, it's not. There are actually two very distinct climates, and then you have your microclimates from there. But I lived on the east side of the mountains, which is very hot and dry all through the summer, very arid, almost desert-like in certain places. And now in this part of my life, I'm living in the very wettest part of the wet side of the mountains, and we get 3 to 4 times the amount of rain that Seattle gets. So anyway, with that in mind, I say all that to preface it on what is available in my garden right now. This is all from stuff that's either started on its own or I grew from seed that I planted directly in the garden, not from starts other than the pansies. So some people that live in different areas are going to have a lot more things ready to go in their salad, so consider that what you've got in your garden. Now, one thing that's not ready for us yet, though I could have harvested a few leaves, I'm just giving them time to grow some more, are nasturtiums. A lot of people who are more southern should be able to harvest their nasturtium leaves and flowers right now, and both are very good in your salads. And it's one of my favorite things to add to the salad, but I don't have that yet. And as I go along through the season, I'll be showing you some more of these salad blends and how it changes as it goes along, hoping to give you ideas of what you can do with the things you have growing in the garden, because you may have things growing that you don't even know you could add to your salad. So to start off with, the beginning of the year like this, beginning of a season, my salads are fairly simple, but I still like to make them as colorful and flavorful as possible with what I have going on. So around here, radicchio and kale, I have bigger kale leaves out there, but I mostly just harvested the young ones, grow really well. And then we also, so these will definitely be going in my salad. I'll also be putting a few dandelion greens, very, very good for you. Yes, they are a little bit bitter, but when you're mixing it in with a lot of these other greens, the bitterness of the dandelion leaves is barely detectable. And I also have some green onions that I harvested from the green onions I showed you in that one garden update. And I just picked a few. I've got some bok choy. This is actually in my greenhouse growing from seed. It's finally been able to take off because of the bug spray I made. And if you didn't see my bug spray video, I'll go ahead and link to it right up here. One hint though on that is you've got to spray every single day. Every day. If you water your stuff, spray it again, maybe spray twice a day. And my bok choy has been doing really good. I do have leaves that are bigger in this too. I usually just go out there and eat them right away because I love eating them straight off the plant. Then I have some just basic like butter crunch lettuces, and some more radicchio, some red lettuce here. These are growing, some of these are growing in the boxes right up on the south side of our greenhouse that we have attached to the side of the greenhouse. And then some of these, like the kale and radicchio, are just growing wild all over all the garden areas. And I gathered some marshmallow leaves. Marshmallow leaves are so good in salad. I thought I got more than this. I guess I only got 3. I might have to throw some more in there, but they are, even though they're kind of soft and velvety, they're still very easy to eat, unlike the woolly lamb's ear. Those of you who don't really want to throw fresh in your salad, they're just too chewy, where these aren't. These just add a nice flavor. They're very mild, and these are one of the things that help make up for the bitterness of the dandelion leaf or the more mustard, horseradishy taste of the radicchio, which I personally love. But Mr. Rain isn't crazy about horseradish, but he doesn't mind my salads. He actually likes my salads, and I put these in here even though they taste like horseradish. And let's see, is there anything different in here? I guess that's it. No, there's one more thing that I have in here, and this is kind of a tricky one. Oh, there's actually another thing. I have one little piece of lamb's quarter, because my lamb's quarter isn't that big yet. It's growing everywhere. I'm so excited. I love lamb's quarter, but it's all pretty tiny right now. But, and you know, when it gets big enough, I still can't help, you know, pinching some off and eating it. But anyway, the last thing is I have a few of the smallest borage leaves I could find, the youngest ones. The trick is with these, you want to chop them really small and get them as young as possible. The flavor is great. It's the texture some people may have a hard time with because they're pretty pokey, especially on the back side of the leaf. The front side of the leaf is more, you can hear that, it's a little bit rough, but it's a little softer than the back side. The back side has a little bit more pokiness, especially along this, the center part, the ridge. I don't have flowers yet, or those would definitely be going in here. I love borage flowers, and so if you have flowers, pick those flowers and add them, because they're beautiful and they add a nice cucumber flavor. But the leaves add that cucumber flavor too. The whole plant actually tastes like cucumber, and I did a video a couple years ago on it where I think I talked about how I actually broke open one of the tubers or the roots. You know, they have a very short taproot and they're easy to pull up, and a lot of liquid. You can get a lot of water directly from the stem, and then the root. They all taste like cucumber. They're just, it's real pleasant. But anyway, if you're going to add these, chop them up small, and otherwise it can be pretty difficult to eat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start with that, and then I'll go over the other things I'll be adding to the salad. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of debate on the best way to prepare your greens for your salad. I used to like to tear them, but I have a tendency to not rip them small enough when I do that. So I prefer to use a knife. And so for the borage leaves, I'm going to separate those out and then just cut them kind of small. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to be too pokey in there. But then what I like to do is I just take the whole kit and caboodle and pile it on. Just kind of pile it together here, and then I just start chopping. Okay, so that's usually pretty good right there, and if you just find any other pieces, you kind of go through it like this, find any pieces that just seem a little too big, then just tear them from there. Chopping is just quicker. I know some people say, oh, you should never use a knife on your salad. Well, I do. Stainless steel, it's not going to hurt it. Okay, and then you want to put it in your bowl and then toss it to mix all that stuff in there. Okay, and now I'm going to add my green onion. Okay, and then I'm going to take these ends and just eat them. I love green onion. Okay, so there, and now I'm going to toss those in. And now another thing you can add that doesn't come from the garden, but I like to add to my salads every now and then, is some black olives. Black olives are just yummy. If you like black olives. I know they're not for everyone. Okay, so from this point, now I'm going to add in my herbs and my flowers. So what I have here are some lavender leaves. I like to really break these up. And then I've got thyme. This is a new thyme that I added to my garden. The leaves are much bigger than any of the other thyme that I'm growing. I just take the thyme and I break it up, put that in there too. I like to put my herbs right along the top. Whoops, I grabbed a pansy. Right here is golden oregano. Golden oregano is just a wonderful herb to add to your salad. It's not at all hot like your regular oregano, like your Greek oregano. It's very, very mild, almost sweet to the taste. And then I've got, let's see, I do like to get all my other herbs in there first before I put my flowers on. And as you can see, I put a lot. You may want to put a little less of your herbs in your salad, but I like a lot of flavor. By the time I finish with my salad and get all the goodies in there, a lot of times I'm happy just to maybe sprinkle a little bit of salt, if that, and eat the salad as is. I don't always use dressing, but though I'll probably put some of my homemade ranch dressing on this. And you can find a video on that. I'll link to it right up here from that I did last year. It's a super easy recipe. There we go, that's good enough. Oh, it smells good. I love lavender and thyme are a couple of my favorite herbs to have together. Whether, you know, in meals, especially in salads, and then the golden oregano. Okay, at this point, I add the flowers to the top. Now, when I get a pansy that's this big, I will break it up and just put the leaves, the petals in separately like this. And yes, you can use the leaves, by the way, too, from the pansies. And the smaller ones, I will just kind of carefully set around. There's a primrose. And just to make it look very pretty. It's just one of those things, if you get to have something pretty like that, it just adds joy to the meal. The only problem is that some people seem a little reluctant to dig into it when I take salads like this to get together. So now this pansy I think is just a little too big. I'm going to go ahead and separate it out. And then with the petunias, same thing. So I got primrose, petunia, pansies. It sure seems to me that most of the flowers that start with a P are edible. I got a few herbs I missed there. And then I have one calendula flower. And this is from the calendula that made it through the winter, and that's the only reason why I have calendula blooming at all. Because all my other calendula that I started from seed is they're not even to the point of flowering yet. So, but this one plant, it actually has buds all over it. This is just the only one that's open right now. I've collected a few flowers from it so far. But yeah, for whatever reason, that one made it through the winter. So I'm just going to pull all the petals off and then just sprinkle them on like that. And there we have a lovely salad. So a way you can take what you've got growing currently, especially if you live in our location where maybe you don't have as many exciting things ready, you should at least have a few things that you can throw in here for color. And even if all you got is dandelions, pull the dandelion petals off and sprinkle those on too. Those will add some nice color, and they're so good for you. Okay, now I have one off-topic thing I wanted to mention before I close up this video, and that is this candy thermometer. I just got a set of 2 of these from Amazon because I've always used the cheaper glass ones for years and years, and I had 2 that I actually managed to get to last me for a long time. Busted one, just shattered it a couple weeks ago, and then pulled the other one out the other day and found the top of it was broken. And so me and glass, especially thin glass, don't do well together because I'm like a bull in a china cabinet. But this candy thermometer, I used it today for the first time and I love it. And I did buy the 2-pack. They are more expensive than the glass ones, but not incredibly so, just a few dollars more. But they are worth it. They have a nice sturdy clip that actually holds it in place on the side of the pan instead of, you know, it tipping back and forth like this. And then it has a stand on the bottom where you can actually sit it at the bottom of the pan and clip it on the side. So it's hanging on there, and I'm so glad I finally did that. I wish I would have done it sooner. So I'm going to link to this below. I'll talk about it in my next this and that video, but I didn't want to wait till then to mention it because I want people to know, if you haven't tried a thermometer like this for whatever it is, whether you're making cheese or yogurt or, you know, soap or candy, whatever it is, you gotta have one of these. I can tell it's gonna last a lot longer. Okay, well, that's it for my salad making video for now, and stay tuned for more videos coming along and how my salad progresses throughout the season, because it just seems like it keeps getting better. But then again, it's so good just like this. I have a hard time deciding which salads I like best. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and that maybe you learned something new. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.